Hi, my name is Erica Sherman, and I'm a multimedia major here at Cal Lutheran with an emphasis in graphic design. And I'm here with Sarah Mapes, who is a graphic designer and illustrator, and I'm going to be interviewing her. And I chose to interview her because when I looked her up on Behance, I really admired her work because it resonates with me. Sarah, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, I'm Sarah Mapes. I'm a graphic designer and illustrator. I also do a little bit of animation. I work both in the field at a full-time job and at freelance slash contracting. Most of my work is on Behance.
Okay, and now the first question. Tell me about your career and how you arrived at your current position.
Like I said, I'm a graphic designer and illustrator. The company that I work for full-time is Lachina Creative. They do a lot of publishing services, marketing, um, visualization. We do some animation, print work. I got that job actually by freelancing. Um, I freelanced for them doing an animation and then was hired a few years later. Um, and then on the side, I do lots of freelance work, mostly in graphic design and illustration, freelance contracting work.
Oh, cool. And describe your typical workday.
So my typical workday, it's a wide range of things because we do a lot of different things within the company. Obviously, I go in, I check my email, I create myself a task list of what I'm going to be doing for that day, sometimes even for the week. I check in with my project managers, and then the rest of the day is basically just handling work. And it could be anything from creating new art to creating concepts to doing corrections on previous client work or work within the company. So,
Yeah, that's all nice. And what are the most exciting aspects of your job?
I think some of the most exciting aspects of my job are seeing the finished projects, whether it be print or on the web, whatever platform digitally it's being uh, displayed on. It's probably the most exciting thing.
Yeah, that's always exciting. And what advice would you give someone entering this field? No, wait, wrong question. Which aspects of your education or training made you more capable and marketable in this field?
So that's kind of something that I've been asked a lot, especially on like Behance doing like the streaming and stuff. And I have put a lot of thought into that. Based on like feedback that I've gotten from clients that I've worked for or my bosses at my full-time job. I think the biggest the biggest thing throughout my education and like all of my experience is being able to problem solve, being able to communicate, and then having a sense of urgency or responsibility. But I really try to push the problem solving thing because that really goes a long way. You could have talent, you could be creative, you could be really good at what you do, but not being able to problem solve kind of doesn't help you. So it's good to be able to stand on your own 2 feet and be able to like figure out problems that the client might have that the client doesn't know the answer to. So
Yeah, that's a good point. And now here's the question that I accidentally asked earlier. What advice would you give someone entering this field?
um so I'd have to say don't be afraid to be let down or fail. Don't necessarily consider a fail as a fail either. It's going to get you somewhere somehow, even if it doesn't work in that particular situation. It's always going to be a learning experience. And then outside of that, really is to just keep working on personal work for your portfolio and stuff. Don't ever stop like learning or like exploring programs if you're into that, new media materials if you work more traditionally. And then to try and build communications and contact with people, that's really important. my teachers were exponentially helpful. I graduated from the Cleveland Institute of Art, and it was through them that I was able to be like put in contact with a lot of freelance people right after I graduated. So
That's awesome. It's all awesome. So, what are likely career paths for a person starting in your profession?
so in the field of graphic design and illustration, there's really a wide range of things that you can do that you wouldn't even really think of. I started off as an animation major. You know, everybody has the dream of going to work for Disney and everything. But I ended up at this nice company here in Cleveland, and we started off in just print production work, doing a lot of like print related things, um, and just materials, books, stuff like that. So you can really branch out with like a graphic design degree or anything like that in lots of different stuff. So, I mean, anything from marketing to like visualization, you could do concepts, lots of stuff like that. So just keep an open mind. You never know where you're going to end up.
Yeah, I consider doing animation too.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work. And I wouldn't not do it because you didn't like take that path. You can always learn.
Hmm. And what qualities make someone a star performer in this occupation?
Uh, well, I hate to keep harping on it, but like I said, the problem solving thing and communication are probably some of like the things that I hold above all else. It's what I strive looking for in like teammates if I'm working on like a team project or something, because like I said, you can be extremely talented and you could be able to draw and design and all that stuff, but if you can't like figure something out or communicate properly with whoever you're working with, the client, teammates, stuff like that, it just doesn't get you as far. So, I mean, obviously you want to like have the know-how of the program or the project, but definitely problem solving and communication, sense of urgency, responsibility.
Yeah, those are very good job qualities. And so, what was it like for you to find a job after getting your college degree?
So it was kind of a struggle, kind of not. I graduated, like I said, in the field of animation, so I was very much expecting to like look for animation work and stuff. But immediately out of school, I actually worked 4 jobs. I worked a full-time job at a restaurant. I worked part-time as a receptionist, and then I juggled 2 to 3 freelance projects at a time. Um, so it was kind of scary at first because I didn't necessarily know that I was going to find a full-time job. But it eventually all worked out, and that like kind of leads back to like the contact and communication point that I brought up earlier. Like I said, I got that freelance job for the company that I work for now from one of my teachers who kept me in mind and reached out, and then that just kind of snowballed into some other opportunities for me. So even if you think that like I don't really want to work on this, or like maybe this doesn't appeal to me and it's not exactly the kind of thing that I'm like looking to do, always give it a try because you never know where it's going to lead and you might end up happy. So, yeah.
It's yeah. Well, I'm glad you powered through and you believed in yourself.
Yeah. It's a lot of effort, a lot of stress.
Oh, I bet. Anyway, what influences your style of design?
So, when I'm looking to design something, I do a lot of research before I just start like diving in. I look at other artists' work, I look to pop culture, and I really take a look at what aspects of the art that I'm looking at I like. And I don't copy that, but I keep that in mind with what I'm designing. And I think looking at other artists' work and like studying their work really helps like you get a ground on what you want your style to be and what you want your artwork to look like. So that's kind of my biggest thing. when I'm looking to design something or like pick a style that I want to work in. I'm very flexible when it comes to styles. I kind of I have my own style, obviously, everybody does, but I think it's good to be flexible and try to work in different styles. So to sum it up, I look at other people's art and I like try to find inspiration in that. So
Yeah, it's a good idea to do that. It's well, I like to get inspiration like from anywhere that I look.
mhm. It could be games, it could be a movie, it could be a poster you see on the street, it could be a picture, anything.
Yeah. Okay, and what was the most challenging project that you've ever done?
So that one's kind of tough to say because I've worked at the company that I've worked at for 5 years now. And before that, I had 3 years of freelance experience. And then obviously, like I've continued to freelance. So I've done a lot of things that kind of range from like challenging projects to really tight deadlines. Um, I can't specifically say like projects that I've worked on, um, but the subject matter of things is something that has probably been really challenging in a lot of the stuff that I've done. So, for example, I had to draw a fitness tracker at one point, and it had to be an exploded view of a fitness tracker, and I had no idea what a fitness tracker or the inside of a fitness
Wow.
tracker really looked like. Yeah. So, that's probably one of the most challenging aspects of the career is clients can reach out to you asking you to draw or if you can do anything, and uh, I don't balk at it. I don't shy away from it. I kind of try to face it head on, no matter how challenging it is, and just research, try to problem solve, figure out what the thing's going to look like. But yeah, I had to figure all that out and then figure out how to place it on a page and make it look right, like, and not like a mess. So that's probably one of the more challenging things that I've done is stuff like that. And it's not just limited to the fitness tracker. I've done tons of other stuff, cars. We did something for space at one point. It's a lot.
Yeah, I bet it was. It sounds intimidating.
It is, but like I said, face it head on, and that's all you can really do.
Okay, and lastly, how has the pandemic impacted your work?
So I've had actually a minimal impact in a negative way for the pandemic. In my full-time job, we've literally had a flawless transition to working from home. We're still working from home. There have been almost no problems. Um, Outside of that, for my freelancing and contracting stuff, that's kind of slowed down a little bit. I do occasionally still get like a request in. And then for like my personal work, it's picked up because I don't have as much of a distraction and from the outside world. So I've actually able to do a lot more of my personal work, which kind of led into streaming for Behance and like posting more projects on Behance and kind of getting my name out there a little bit more versus trying to like run around and stuff. The pandemic has kind of helped that in a way.
Yeah, we have more time on our hands.
More time than I ever thought I'd have.
Okay, and so is that everything that you have to say?
um, yeah, I think so. Unless there's anything else you want to know or like are curious about.
Yeah, well, as a little bonus question, I'm curious to know what is your favorite project that you've done?
Ooh, my favorite project. Professionally or personally?
Well, anything.
Just anything. Uh, my favorite thing that I've probably done is I just created like a fan made sticker set for one of my favorite books. And they're not like out there or anything. It was just, I created them and they're just like little graphics that have to do with like symbolism from the book and then quotes from the book. And that is honestly, to this date, probably one of my favorite things that I've ever done. And it's so simple, but I had so much fun doing it. So,
That's awesome.
yeah.
All right, well, thank you so much for answering my questions and participating in this interview.
Of course.